On the desolate shores of the Flannan Isles, where the waves crash against the rocks and a haunting breeze whispers through the air, there lies an enigma that has captivated minds for over a century. In December 1900, 3 lighthouse keepers vanished without a trace from their remote post, leaving behind a mystery that still resonates today. It was a disappearance marked by endless questions, theories ranging from the plausible to the preposterous, and an absence of answers so profound that it almost seems supernatural. What happened to the Flannan Isles Lighthouse keepers? Where did they go? And, more chillingly, why did they leave no clues? If these questions spark your curiosity, you're in the right place. Stick around. What you're about to hear might change the way you see this enduring mystery forever. As we delve into the depths of this unsettling incident, consider this: how could 3 men stationed on an isolated island, surrounded by the relentless sea, simply vanish without a trace? The lighthouse, a beacon of hope and safety beaconing to passing ships, became the stage for one of the most baffling tales of human history. The keepers, Thomas Marshall, James Duckett, and Donald MacArthur, were experienced men entrusted with the vital task of ensuring that the light shone brightly for ships traversing the perilous waters of the Atlantic. Their duty was not just a job, it was a lifeline to countless sailors. But what happens when the guardians of this lifeline disappear? To truly appreciate the weight of this mystery, we must first visualize the setting: the Flannan Isles, a group of small, rocky islands situated off the west coast of Scotland. The islands are known for their rugged beauty and treacherous waters, often enveloped in thick, swirling mists. The lighthouse was built in 1899 on Eilean Moor, the largest of the Flannan Isles, elevating the lighthouse keepers to a solitary, almost mythical existence. Picture them isolated, observing the changing tides and weather, their lives entangled with the forces of nature. Yet, on December 15th, just a few days before Christmas, when a relief vessel arrived, their absence was discovered. At first glance, the disappearance of the lighthouse keepers might seem like a simple story of miscommunication or a tragic accident. But as we unpack the events surrounding that fateful December, the layers of complexity start to emerge. Imagine the panic of the relief crew upon discovering that the lighthouse was not just unmanned, it was filled with unnerving signs of disarray. Meals left uneaten, the light extinguished, and, most disturbingly, a logbook with the last entries indicating increasingly erratic behavior. What could possibly have caused the keepers to abandon their posts? The logs tell a cryptic tale. The final entries, penned just days before the relief crew arrived, reveal alarming details. On December 12th, one entry states, "Storm ended, sea calm," but subsequent entries hint at mounting tension. Only the following day, a chilling note reads, "The lighthouse is in order, but the keepers are not." This statement raises more questions than answers. Were they simply unable to cope with the isolation? Or had something more sinister occurred? As the tension intensifies, you might be wondering, what's the significance of the storm? And how could a group of seasoned keepers, responsible for such a critical task, suddenly find themselves in chaos? Stories of storms are common in lighthouse lore, but there's more than weather at play here. The relentless solitude of their posts might weigh on the human psyche far more than we consider. The isolation can lead to paranoia, heightened emotions, and even a feeling of entrapment, magnified by the ghostly wind and the haunting calls of seabirds. Could this psychological strain have played a role in their mysterious disappearance? As investigators began to gather and theorize about what may have happened, more peculiarities emerged. One theory suggests that perhaps a rogue wave swept the keepers into the churning sea, a treacherous fate for men preordained to confront such perilous nature. But what of the log entries? They seem to imply the keepers were still present, just in a state of distress. Was it an accident, or did the men volunteer for a more clandestine escape from their duties? In essence, the lighthouse keepers became the unwitting protagonists of a very human story, reflective of our own fears and fascinations with the unknown. The absence of concrete answers allows us to project our own theories onto the events, heightening our intrigue. You might think this sounds like a script straight out of a horror story, but these were real men whose fates slipped quietly between the pages of history. Let's not forget the role of local lore. Over the years, myths surrounding the Flannan Isles keepers have proliferated, intertwining with the factual narrative. Some of the local stories recounted tales of strange lights spotted along the peaks of the islands. Others whispered of ghostly presences, suggesting that the keepers may have encountered otherworldly forces. Could these stories have originated from genuine sightings? Or were they merely the byproducts of fear and imagination, fueled by the mysterious circumstances of the keepers' disappearance? Remarkably, the fascination with this mystery continues to capture the public's imagination, and it is easy to understand why. There's something inherently chilling about the idea of disappearing into thin air, especially in a place dedicated to guiding and protecting others. It stands to remind us that amidst order, symbolized by the lighthouse, chaos can lurk just below the surface. But the human need to find closure never wavers. Enter the many theories proposed over the years. Perhaps the men were caught in a fatal accident during the storm, or grew disoriented during the tumultuous night and succumbed to the ocean's overwhelming force. Another chilling theory suggests they became victims of a murder committed by a surreptitious visitor to the island. In the absence of concrete evidence, each scenario evokes different emotions in those who ponder their validity. Some theories are riveting, while others feel unnervingly plausible. As you immerse yourself in this narrative, you may be thinking about the very fabric of time, how people and their stories can vanish, swallowed by the relentless tides of history. You might even be questioning, why hasn't this mystery been conclusively solved? With advancements in technology, are we not better equipped to find answers than the generations before us? Although investigation efforts persisted for decades, access to the isolated Flannan Isles posed a significant challenge. And herein lies the heart of the matter. Sometimes nature feels inherently unwieldy, unyielding, and unconcerned with our desire for comprehension. You might find it compelling to think about how we continue to grapple with events and phenomena beyond our understanding, searching for answers in a world filled with enigmas. Now, as we trace the journey of these keepers through the chilling landscape of history, we uncover further layers, historic narratives, tales of solitude, strange sightings, and the tales spun by generations of storytellers. It raises a pressing question: how do we reconcile facts with speculation? As we dig deeper into the lore of the mysterious affairs of the lighthouse, we find ourselves questioning the reliability of even our own memories. Did the keepers truly exist the way we understand them? With several theories floating around, from the plausible to the far-fetched, it's essential to approach this mystery with an open mind. For example, did you know that one particularly intriguing theory proposed that the keepers had been driven mad by a mysterious light appearing from another lighthouse? Could what they experienced have been an optical illusion, a mirage brought on by the psychological strain of their isolation? What if this phantom beacon led them astray, creating a tragic spiral that ultimately spelled disaster for them? But let's pause here for a moment. We've explored considering the mystery of the lighthouse keepers from various angles, but let's revert to the very beginning and clarify one startling fact. Despite numerous accounts and investigations, none of the men were ever found. It's as if they simply melted into the depths of the sea, destined to remain a footnote. Their absence casts a long shadow, as if the light of Eileen Moore flickered just a little dimmer that fateful December when they vanished. But hold on to your thoughts. This is merely the first part of an intricate puzzle, a prelude to a more profound exploration of the lore, theories, and implications surrounding the Flannan Isles Lighthouse keepers. In our next segment, we'll further dissect the aftermath of their disappearance, the impact it had on maritime operations, as well as the eerie legacies that continue to ripple through time. As we venture forth, keep your curiosity alive. You won't be disappointed by the haunting truths that await. As we turn the page on our investigation of the Flannan Isles Lighthouse keepers, let's explore the aftermath of their mysterious disappearance and its profound impact on maritime operations, local communities, as well as the construction of the mythos that surrounds Eileen Moore. The echo of their absence still reverberates through the annals of maritime history, reminding us of the tenuous balance between man and nature, duty and despair. In the wake of the disappearance, a flurry of investigations was launched. Authorities scrambled to piece together the puzzle. Aboard the relief vessel Hesperus, the initial search began, but any hopes of a swift resolution quickly evaporated. The absence of any physical evidence, bodies, personal effects, nothing but fragmented logbooks, created an environment rich with speculation yet devoid of clarity. As weeks turned into months, the fears and rumors swirled even more. Local fishermen began to avoid the area, claiming they felt a strange chill hovering over the isles. Superstitions surfaced regarding haunted waters and spectral keepers endlessly patrolling the lighthouse. These narratives provided an eerie charm to the desolate isles, transforming them into a tapestry of local lore woven with tragedy and whimsy. Ingeniously, fishermen and sailors capitalized on the intrigue, trading tales of ghostly sightings to tourists eager for a taste of the supernatural. Yet, behind this commercial facade lay a genuine fear, one in which human lives had been lost without explanation. The Flannan Isles incident also prompted significant changes in maritime policy and lighthouse management. The British government initiated thorough safety inspections and protocols aimed at better ensuring the well-being of lighthouse keepers in the isolated corners of the nation. The disappearance illuminated the dangers associated with loneliness and mental health that were often overlooked. Increased training was introduced for keepers, with a growing emphasis on mental resilience in the face of isolation, leading to the implementation of more regular relief schedules. Moreover, the tale of the Flannan Isles seeped into literature, film, and broader culture, transforming over the years into a cautionary fable about the fragility of human existence against nature's vast expanse. Works of fiction drew upon the lighthouse setting, reflecting not just the psychological strain of isolation but echoing the anxiety of early 20th century society facing the unrelenting embrace of industrial advancement, men yearning for stability yet grappling with the unknown. One notable adaptation is the play The Lighthouse by Welsh playwright John B. Keane, which garnered attention for its intimate exploration of the lives of lighthouse keepers. The adaptation captures the existential undertones buried within the factual narrative, emphasizing isolation's mental toll. Similarly, filmmakers have delved into the tale, creating cinematic pieces that offer modern interpretations while maintaining the essence of the mystery. The eager audience finds themselves enraptured, creating a feedback loop where fiction spills into speculation, driving a further wedge into the historical truth. As we dig deeper into the narrative, it becomes important to recognize a fascinating aspect, the natural phenomenon known as the fata morgana, which occurs in specific atmospheric conditions. This optical illusion can distort objects on the horizon, giving rise to illusions of ships, buildings, or even lights. Some modern theorists have suggested that the keepers might have observed a fata morgana and misinterpreted it as a vessel in distress or some guiding light, inadvertently misleading their actions. Could it be that a mirage played a role in their disappearance? It's an enthralling yet chilling notion that perhaps even nature conspired to cloud their fateful decisions. Our journey also raises critical questions about the nature of responsibility, both personal and professional. In their own right, the keepers were not just workers in isolation, they were human beings bound by duty and the expectations that come with it. Within the pages of their logbook lay the burden of their isolation. One particularly haunting entry from Ducat alluded to a harrowing turn of events during that dreadful week. Conditions are severe, and tensions arise. As we stand witness to their struggle, it beckons us to ponder how often we ignore the inner battles faced by those who seem to occupy positions of authority or reliability. What toll does such labor extract on the mind and spirit? Could it have driven these men to despair and eventually to their vanishing? As we contemplate the psychological implications, we must also parallel the transformation of their story into a symbol of the times. The mystery makes the Flannan Isles Lighthouse keepers both timeless and tragically relatable. In a world governed by rational thought and rational science, Did their disappearance symbolize a failure to comprehend the unpredictable facets of human emotions, stress, and secrets? Even today, we grapple with such complexities. Lighthouse keepers have become a metaphor for our struggles and fears, a poignant reminder that even the most steadfast among us can succumb to invisible pressures. Naturally, the whispers about the lighthouse keepers never seem to cease. Tales of the Flannan Isles even sparked the imaginations of folklorists and storytellers far beyond Scotland. Exaggerated accounts of distant rescues or encounters with foreboding entities from the depths of the sea abounded. An interesting example is the tale of the Flannan ghost, a figure said to have been spotted wandering the cliffs, often seen during particularly stormy nights. The stories become a modern reflection of humanity's need for closure in face of ambiguity, an insatiable quest to ensure that the keepers are more than just forgotten men, lost to time. In 1912, 12 years after the lighthouse keepers disappeared, a shipwreck off the Flannan Isles led to renewed interest in the site. Researchers using advanced exploration methods sought potentially submerged evidence, spurring an array of painstaking underwater expeditions and sonar imaging. Yet the ocean remained unforgiving, and the ethereal clues dissolved into the salty depths. Still, these excavations were not futile. Each expedition symbolized humanity's relentless pursuit of truth, our courage to stare into the void of history and accept the unknown. Eventually, as with many tales throughout time, the Flannan Isles story transformed into one of collective memory as well as cultural identity. It speaks to our fascination with edge cases of existence, those moments where individuals opposed the vast expanse of nature and time itself. History without resolution creates gaps that are almost poetic, left open for speculation and projection by each new observer. As we near the end of our exploration, consider this reflection. The Flannan Isles Lighthouse keepers stand as sentinels guarding both memory and morality, challenging contemporary society to remain vigilant. Are we not all keepers of our stories? Just as the lighthouse offered guidance amidst tumultuous waters, we too navigate through turbulent times, searching for light amid uncertainty. In conclusion, the Flannan Isles Lighthouse keepers remind us that mysteries can unfold layers of resilience, vulnerability, and humanity itself. The unexplained tells a story, urging us to confront the specter of fear, the emotion beneath the surface, and the human condition itself. In a world enamored with resolution, their story represents the beauty and uncertainty, the delicate threads of connection that bind us as we navigate the shadows together. So the question remains, is the Flannan Isles truly lost to history? Or do the echoes of Thomas Marshall, James Duckett, and Donald MacArthur persist, resonating through time in our collective consciousness? Their mystery rekindles the flames of curiosity within us all, demanding that we remember, sometimes, the journey to uncover the truth proves just as compelling, if not more so, than the truth itself. As we leave behind the windswept shores and turbulent waters, let these men remain alive in our imaginations, forever battened down with questions we may never fully answer, yet ever propelling us forward into the unknown.